We have one Spurs, one Man United, and one Forest fan. So we'll go straight into it. We are actually looking at the World Cup team, Qatar. They are joining their first World Cup, and they are in it as the hosts. They were announced as the host as far back as December 2010, and it's the first time an Arab team is going to be hosting the competition. So we'll look at the journey. Where did they start from, and where have they gotten to? Sam, I don't know if you want to kick us off by telling us what the Qatar team have done in preparation to the World Cup.
Okay, so far, the Qatar, well, I think their aim is to make an impression. I don't think their aim is necessarily to win the World Cup, but their aim is to make them to introduce themselves to the world. And if you follow the Qatar team closely, you realize that they've been preparing for almost since the day it was announced that Qatar is hosting the World Cup, will be hosting the World Cup, and they've had quite a number of friendlies with Slovenia, Bulgaria, and others, and even Ghana. One thing that I'm not really sold on really is whether they are going to really make much of an impression in the World Cup. Because if you look at the match, although they look like a unit, but you realize that they don't really, most of their friendly matches hasn't really been with top teams, and I think it's really going to affect them. I don't know for now till the World Cup if they are going to have any more matches, but I'm really hoping that they test themselves with a much more better opponent. So I'm not really so I like the preparation in terms of how their mindset and everything, how they are preparing in terms of their unit. But as in the actual play, I'm not really convinced just yet. And I want to stress on the word yet, because you never know what's their plan and what their plan is. And they have a wonderful coach. They have a coach who used to be associated with Barcelona, and he's been with them too. And he's managed their youth teams, and he's been in Qatar for a while now. So he knows the players and no. But yes, still, personally, on a personal level, I'm not sold on. They might beat maybe an Ecuador or a Senegal, but I'm still not sold on what to expect in the World Cup.
Well said. But Herman, they've been doing a lot of invitational tournaments. In 2019, the Copa America, and even 2019, they won the Asian Cup. Don't you think all of this form is going to build up and we'll see something unique in the World Cup?
Well, I like we all know that friendly matches and invitational tournaments are not, they are just preparation matches. They are not the yardstick for how well a team will do at the World Cup. We know how even our African champions go to the World Cup and they end up, not passing the group stage. So for me, the real deal is not really these invitational tournaments. Yeah, you could talk about the under-19. There's a smooth transition for that team, because that same Asian champions under-19, they have transitioned. Most of them have transitioned to this national team, same manager. But I don't think it's a good yardstick. And all things being equal, they wouldn't have even qualified for the World Cup if they were not the host. So you get the fact that you would say they've played a lot of invitational tournaments. They've drawn against Slovenia. They've won against Bulgaria, but these matches are not on the world stage. Everything comes to play, and I think the experience and the pedigree will go against them.
True. That's very true. However, let's remember a lot of these players were actually being coached by Xavi in the Qatar. And I think perhaps a lot of playing the maybe a Barca kind of attacking football, which, interestingly enough, Felix Sanchez is a student of. Sammy, don't you think, despite their ranking of 51 in the world, a Barca sort of mentality or attacking approach could spring a surprise on the Netherlands and even Senegal?
And it could, but don't forget one of the most important elements when it comes to playing successful football is also experience. Qatar doesn't or hasn't really been on the international stage. In fact, this is their first World Cup, and just a little fact, they are one of the few teams that actually is playing the World Cup, but they didn't have to qualify. I think Italy was the last country to do that. The experience is not there. I don't see that they might play beautiful football, but at the end of the day, it's the end product, and I don't think that the 2022 World Cup is the right time. I think their aim really is to just make an impression in the World Cup. It's not really to go far and beyond. Their hope is to make an impression in the World Cup and say, yes, we are also a football powerhouse, or we are also something to be. I mean, we are also a team to be reckoned with. But I mean, to go all the way, no. I mean, I don't believe that for at the moment. So I mean, they lack experience. So I mean, they may play for good football, as I earlier mentioned, but it's at the end of experience, good football, everything come into place. Let's look at the Barcelona team, of the dominant Barcelona team. They had experience in Xavi, and he had also good play, the tiki taka and all those things. They all came together and joined into a unit. And I think they may have someone, but they don't have all. It's really gonna affect them throughout the World Cup.
Where they may lack experience, they have a lot of familiarity since a lot of the players play in Qatar, especially in Al Sadd. Herman, don't you feel familiarity can play a role? They all know each other, they know each other's moves. Can that translate into a winning formula?
Before Herman
Okay.
comes in, let me just drop something.
Mhm.
The Qatar league is not a strong league. So
Okay.
yes, Al Sadd is dominant. Yes, I mean, he recently won the cup. Yes, but it's not a dominant league. And even the League One, where we see it to be a dominant league, it plays in the Champions League. They call it a Farmers League. So you can just imagine the name that the Qatar League will be called. Not to disrespect any league. I think it's a fantastic league, but I feel like the level of competitiveness is not up there, really.
Okay.
Herman, please, you can come in.
Well, Ellie, you were speaking about familiarity and I mean being able to. I mean, someone who even extensively say, "Oh, some of these players came through the Aspire Academy." We all know the Aspire Academy has been pivotal and has brought Qatar as a nation to the fore. But what you have to get at the back of your mind is that, like Sammy said, the guys they are going to face are top professionals from the top leagues of the European football, from the great and hard tackling and strength. I mean, the Ecuadorians from South America.
Mhm.
You are facing up against Senegal, Mane, and these boys who have, they have all to play for because they are the African champions. So you might say familiarity will count, but I don't believe that. Like, it's not like we are not giving them a shot here or we are not tipping them. But like I said, all things being equal, if they had even played in the Asian qualifiers, they wouldn't have been here. So we in Ghana here are even saying our captain playing for our side is just racking up the stats. How much more these guys who played our side? And I mean, you mentioned Xavi. He's come to Barcelona. He's trying to implement the style of play, and you can see how difficult it's proving to be for him at the top level. So it's not like we are writing them off, but they are not there yet. That's my opinion.
Okay. But anyway, they do have noteworthy players to speak of. Maybe I'll first touch on Almoez Ali. When um, Qatar did play Ghana in 2020, interestingly, he was the only goal scorer of the Qatar team in that match. He plays for Al Duhai. And interestingly enough, he's naturalized and born in Sudan. Herman, I don't know if you want to talk about this note about players being naturalized, being born in other countries who are being naturalized to play for the Qatar team, and what you think this could do for them.
Well, again, I think this stems from the fact that one, the Aspire Academy, and two, how lucrative their league is. Qatarians, I think they've gone ahead to make sure that their league is lucrative. And we know that most of, even their, apart from football, there are a lot of people naturalizing for them in other sports. We see it in the athletics, we see it in a lot of other disciplines. So for me, it's nothing strange. Apart from the Sudanese you mentioned, there is also the Portuguese naturalizing for them. So all in all, in summary, for me, because of how they've opened up and how they source talents from the early age for their sports disciplines, it's quite easy for these guys. You would say they are naturalizing, but these guys virtually, or these guys grew up there and they are Qatarians now. So you can't rule out the fact that, good, they naturalized, they were born somewhere, but they are Qatarians now. So I mean,
Do you have your eye on any particular player who you think?
Oh, for me, my eye is on Mubarak Faraj. My eye is on Mubarak Faraj, and also okay. So no, my eye is on Arif rather. Sorry, no Mubarak Faraj. My eye is on Arif. When they played against Bulgaria, he did well. Sorry, not Arif, Afif. When they played against Bulgaria, he did very well. I think he scored the only goal because of this preparation for.
I think you're talking about Akram Afif, who plays for Al
Yes,
Sadd.
Akram Afif. So he scored the only goal against Bulgaria, and in preparation for our review on this, I took the time to watch the Bulgarian game, their game against Bulgaria, which they won 1-0. So he impressed me in that game, and I think. Yeah, but it's Bulgaria. So, yes, but I think he impressed me because he got the only goal. No, and in the game as a whole, I think he really came to the fore. So, though they won by 2-1, I think he really did well. I like the penalty he scored. I think he has calm nerves. So, that's okay.
And Sam, is your eye on any player here? Maybe a player Man United might even want to sign? Perhaps?
Well, so basically, my eyes are on the outside players. As Herman said, Afif, we have Hassan Al Heidos, we have a couple of Mohamed Wad, Al Asadala, and we have a couple of them. So those are the crop that, because Al Sadd has been quite dominant for a while, and not just with their result, but with their play. And I believe that that kind of experience will have a big impact on the Qatar team. And so not just a particular person, but I believe that the experience or the training they're able to get from being coached by Xavi and the ideas, I think it will have a big impact on the Qatar team. And I mean, a shout out to also my Ghanaian brother Mohamed Muntari. I mean, he's also killing it at Al Duhail. Sorry. So yeah. So
that's wonderful. A shout out to Muntari there. And finally, for the matches they are going to play, they are going to be facing two of the perceived heavyweights from Africa and Europe, in Senegal and Netherlands, respectively. To you, Sam, do you think they are going to do any better than South Africa did in 20? South Africa got knocked out at the group stage, and they were the hosts. Do you think Qatar are going to do better than them? Or
so I have a strong. I mean, on the surface level, I'm not really enthusiastic about their chances, but there's a strong feeling that they're going to pull a surprise. one way or the other. I'm not really certain, but I have a strong feeling that they're going to pull a surprise. They might be the third. I mean, I'm strong. They'll be the third seed team. They'll be the. I mean, after the group stage, they'll probably be the third. But I just feel like they might pull a surprise. Probably a 1-1 draw with Netherlands, or they might probably score Ecuador. For Senegal,
We are just looking at the Qatar team.
I know. But for their game against Senegal, I want to drag Senegal into this because I don't know, but I feel like probably Qatar might upset Senegal. It's just a strong feeling.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And then,
So
Herman, what do you think from your end?
I think the Senegalese team, I mean, we are here comparing Qatar and Senegal, and early on, I think you mentioned that the Qatarian team, they've played together outside and that, but I mean, bear in mind, this Senegalese team, they've been to 2 finals, they've lost 1, they've won 1, they've qualified the World Cup by beating the same team they beat in the finals. I think now they have enough experience because of the fact that they've played together over 2 tournaments. They've built the bond. I don't think the Qatarians stand a chance against the Senegalese. Maybe Ecuador, fine, but I don't think they can beat the Senegalese or even the Netherlands. So for me, they'll flatter to deceive. I think the Senegalese will be too much for them. Money on one side. I mean, Koulibaly and leading the charges, they'll be fine. I don't think Qatar can beat. I think I would say Qatar will be knocked out of the group stages.
Okay. Finally, it's time to put our neck on and actually make a prediction on who is going to on what we think on Qatar and where they're actually going to end up. When it gets to that time of the World Cup where it ends and we come and review what we said, then I think we'll shame some people and some people eat humble pie and some would come out tops. So maybe I'll start first with you, Herman. Where exactly do you think Qatar are going to end up? Group stage, round of 16, or further?
My thoughts straight up is that they will not qualify from the group stage. I believe their best will be at least maybe 2 points. That will be their best.
That's very specific. 2 points.
2 points. Okay. 2 points because I think their best will be to naked draw against Ecuador and naked draw against Senegal. You remember during the AFCON, you were cheering for Cameroon because you believed they had the home crowd behind them. The Qatarians, I'm not saying they are not football enthusiastic like the Cameroonians where you say, oh, they are people who come to the pitch and push them. Okay. They are fine. We see their league. We see that the stadiums are not full. Though they have a lot of viewership, it doesn't mean the stadiums are full and all. So that aside, I think they can't come out of it. So for me, I think they'll be out of the group stage, maximum 2 points.
And Sam, what about you? They are going to end up?
I mean, I'm going to have to agree with Herman on this one. I think
not even one win. You don't think they'll even one win?
So earlier I said I had a gut feeling that they might probably pull a surprise. So I just probably feel like they'll get a win from either Ecuador or Senegal. I'm not really high on Senegal as people may be. Yes, they won AFCON and all those things, but I believe that they might either get a win. They might either make a win from Senegal or Ecuador. But just that they are probably. But I believe that they are not going to go beyond the group stages.
Yeah, I think I might agree with you, but I also want to be a romantic, and maybe I would say they would end up second. Okay, you have to be realistic. I don't think they'll go past the group stage as well. They'll do very well in the group stage, but don't go past it. I think that's maybe where I stand as well. And so, with a successful review done on the Qatar team, I think then we now just have to round it up ahead of our next review with the next team, which would be the Netherlands. I think that will be an interesting show. So, Herman first, do you want to give us any last thoughts?
Well, I think we've been able to put out the facts, and now all we can say, we just placed our heads on the chopping block. Come November, very sure from our experience or from my experience, I know my prediction will come to pass, and I can't wait. Like you put out the team, I can't wait to review L'Orange. So it's good to be here again, and it's been a good discussion. Cheers.
Yeah. And Sam, any last thoughts?
Okay, so from now till the beginning of the tournament, I'm actually hoping that there's going to be some form of preparation from the Qatar camp and from the Qatar camp that's going to convince me that indeed they are going to pull a surprise. But on the outer level, I'm not really optimistic about their chances. But deep down, I really want to be proved wrong, because I feel like they come in as an underdog. I'm really hoping for them to prove me wrong. Yes.
All right. I think I agree with both of you, and we are waiting with unabated excitement to see the Qatar team in full flow. And thank you, listeners, for listening to us. Keep listening to us on your favorite podcast app or whichever channel you got us from. We appreciate your feedback. Keep sharing your comments. And with that,